a high-level meeting on the killings in Kashmir. The NSA, Mr. Doval, is in the North Block to meet Amit Shah, the Home Minister. A meeting going on for the last 1 hour. Recent targeted killings are being discussed in this meeting. Amit Shah is meeting the National Security Advisor on the targeted killings that has taken place in Kashmir in the recent past. The NSA, Mr. Doval, Ajit Doval, is currently in the North Block to meet Mr. Shah. The meeting has been going on for over an hour now. This is, of course, coming at a time when there have been a recent spate of targeted killings in Kashmir. The Union Minister for State and Prime Minister's Office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, has also joined the meeting. NSA Doval is also present over there. The meeting, like I mentioned, has been going on for over an hour right now. I am joined by my colleagues Neeta Sharma and Nazir. I would like to go to my colleague Neeta first for this. Neeta, there is a meeting going on right now on the between Mr. Amit Shah and the NSA chief, Mr. Doval. What more are you picking up from this meeting? What is likely to be expected?
So, Nakshi, the meeting is over. The NSA was accompanied by the Secretary, Research and Analysis Wing Chief, Mr. Samant Goel. He was also there in the meeting. Actually, the targeted killings in Kashmir Valley has thrown the security grid in Kashmir Valley out of gear. So, obviously, there are concerns as far as the ministry is also concerned. So, the Union Home Minister and NSA and also Secretary Raw were in a meeting, in a closed-door meeting for over an hour. The meeting went on and now the meeting is over. We have seen the May was the hottest month as per the data of Ministry of Home Affairs. As many as 5 targeted killings took place in May itself, 3 of civilians and 2 of security forces. And even May also saw highest number of encounters. In 14 encounters, 27 terrorists were killed, of which 20 were locals, which has set the alarm bell ringing as far as the security establishment is also concerned. So there's another meeting slated for tomorrow in which the Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha is going to participate. In that meeting, obviously, the forthcoming Amarnath Yatra is also going to be discussed with the Union Home Minister. Sonakshi?
All right, Neeta. So that meeting has taken place. This is, of course, coming at a time when there have been a recent spate and series of targeted killings in the valley. Several questions being raised on the security aspect and the fact that terrorism, the alert on that has been on its highest ever, given that so many people have been killed and targeted in the recent past. I'm also joined by my colleague Nazir on this, who has been tracking the details of this on the ground very closely. Nazir, the meeting here in Delhi, in the national capital, between the NSA chief, Mr. Ajit Doval, and Home Minister Amit Shah on the security situation, the targeted killings in Kashmir. Meanwhile, another attack has taken place in just less than 3 days. You and I have been talking about it over the last few days. What more can you share with us?
Well, despite all the security measures, massive security cover, huge, anti-militancy operations, these attacks, target attacks continue. And they are specific attacks. They target innocent people because of their identity, because of the name, and the objectives are very clear now why they are doing it. And today, Vijay Kumar from Rajasthan, a bank manager with the Ilakai Dehati Bank, was shot dead inside the bank. And this was caught on camera after shooting, and the attacker managed to escape, even as the police say they have launched a coordinated search operation to track down the attacker. This is the second attack, same target attack in the same area. 2 days back, Rajni Bella, a school teacher from Jammu, Samba area of Jammu, she was killed right outside her school. And we know before that there have been several other attacks. Last evening, civilian Farooq Ahmed Sheikh was shot at inside his home. Early in the morning, during an operation by the army, there was a bomb blast inside a vehicle which they have hired. What the army says, police are saying they're investigating whether it was an IED, grenade attack, or maybe a battery blast. But given the fact that massive damage caused to the vehicle, it is clearly a bomb blast. Having said that, the targeted attacks has become a huge issue. Kashmiri Pandits who have been protesting for the last 3 weeks have called up their protests. They are saying there's no point to protest anymore. It is time to move to Jammu because they have been demanding asking government to relocate to them, Jammu, at least till the time situation is normalized. But we see almost every week there are now target attacks, particular people being targeted, and there's no other response with the government so far except telling them to intensify the operations. And what is happening? More militants get killed and more attacks are happening. It is not actually, it's like a zero-sum game. And it is a worse thing than what was happening in 1990. People are being targeted because of their faith, and many places, Kashmiri Pandits are leaving Valley. They are migrating. This is a worst case scenario where someone is not feeling safe in his home place, at his home, at his office.
Right. Nazir, just a quick question, because we have debated this on the channel last evening as well. Lot of people from the valley, some of them, many of them actually youngsters who joined us on the debate, said these lines, and I quote them. They said that they have not seen such conditions, they have not seen such bad times in the last 10 to 12 years. Some of them even went on to say that they had come to the valley with hope of getting a job in a new environment, in a new ecosystem, leaving away their hometowns, their villages. Then they moved to the valley. But now they say that the situation, they think they have not seen such bad times in the last 10 to 12 years. For someone like you who knows the region so closely, so well, has it really been so bad in the last few months, in fact? Can you highlight that for our viewers?
Well, I'll tell you, there are over 4,000 Kashmiri Pandits who have got a job. They returned as part of the Prime Minister's employment package for migrant Kashmiri Pandits since 2010. And since 2010 and 2020, there was not a single attack, even since 2003 to 2021. But suddenly we see series of attacks, target attacks. They really feel unsafe now. In their transit camps, at their workplace, on way to their workplaces, that's why Kashmiri Pandits were protesting. They're saying life comes first, then the livelihood. So it's time to go ahead. At some place, we saw they packing their bags, going out, and some places they are being stopped by the police not to move out, and there was kind of scuffle, and they are telling police, please let us go. We have to save our lives. So that it has come to that tipping point where innocent civilians, citizens are not feeling safe to be in their home place, in their home. That is the worst case scenario. What is happening here, despite massive operation, more than 90 militants being killed, huge, crackdown, arresting OGW, so-called ecosystem, sacking employees, all the things measures government feel is right to counter it. It is not actually helping. It is becoming counterproductive. The reality is this, that there is a gap between the society and the state. That gap needs to be bridged. It has to be a collective effort, everybody, all of us, to prevent such attacks. Yes, security is very important. It is a colossal failure to prevent such attacks because, how can these attacks happen when we know this is the situation? Youngsters, youth picking up guns, carrying out terror attack is a horrible thing to happen. And in many places, they've become clueless till that time. The incident happened. Same happened in this case of, bank manager Vijay Kumar, who had recently joined here. And today, he was killed in this horrible terror incident.
In fact, unfortunate that these spate of killings and attacks are taking place very often. Almost every other day we have news of the security situation in the valley. Thank you very much, Nazir.